Hello everyone, it's time to ramble on what if Ahsoka became the Mandalore. I barely remember doing the last one, so it's not going to be in the same format. Except that no script, so rambling. I did notice that the last one didn't do too well, so I might not be doing another one after this. However, oh well. So, on what if Ahsoka became the Mandalore, I based a lot of this on her getting revenge, because I believe that's the only way she would have accepted to become the Mandalore. However, after I read a comment, I did think of another path, because with revenge that would have been a quick thing like it did. It was 2 years. However, another path is when she accepted to become Mandalore, it was grief, not revenge. So, doing that would delay the rebellion, or the Mandalore's rebellion. The clones are probably still stick the same, rebel and defect to Mandalore. Ahsoka, of course, let them in. Afterwards, I doubt Rex would have continued once his mission to free his brothers was complete. Both in Rebels and in the Bad Batch. Well, the Bad Batch showed his clone rebellion kind of failing. But in Rebels, it shows that he retired, basically. He wasn't in the rebellion. So I doubt he would have continued to rebel. He would have joined Ahsoka in basically exile. So in this alternate one, we could see that Mandalore joins a wild rebellion when the wild rebellion starts, rebelling actively. Because it would allow them to basically wait till the Empire actually attacked them. Even the Empire had to justify its actions to a point. I kind of skipped over that in this one when they attacked Mandalore, because logically they shouldn't have attacked, but I wanted to progress the story. However, in this other one, this alternate one, we would see the Empire attack when they were actually ready, and Ahsoka wasn't itching for a fight. She was simply just defending her people. I believe the trigger of this would be Jedi younglings that had found refuge on Mandalore. As I said, the Empire would need a reason to attack, and they'll probably demand that she give up these Jedi younglings. And of course she would refuse, and that would probably be the spark to throw Mandalore into a war with the Empire and join the Wild Rebellion. Besides that, alternate thing, I'm definitely going to come back to this and do an alternate thing. Let's talk more about this story. So I mentioned with revenge for her to take the mantle of Mandalore, that of course is the dark side of the Force. So I feel like she had to brush the dark side in order to take on a leadership of a warrior race. It kind of makes sense. But Rex was, in this story, her anchor that kept her on the light. He talked her out of all the bad things, or at least tried to. I didn't mention the Bad Batch in this just because I couldn't figure out where they would fit in. I know I mentioned Omega, but I just think of it as the Bad Batch found its home on Mandalore as well with Omega. They were offering refuge to all clones, and I just figured the Bad Batch would be part of this. They didn't want to fight anymore with Omega, so I couldn't really add them into as a special forces unit, like attacking the Empire, because they didn't want to do that anymore. So I just didn't include them. It was just too much detail, too many words, and it didn't progress the story at all. So sorry about that. Besides that, not much is known about the early Empire besides from the Bad Batch. It's a lot of the legends and all that, but even still, it starts talking about the Empire like 5 years after it was created, not like the year or second year it was created. So I had to base the story on a lot of what ifs and did this happen. And I think it turned out well. We'll see. A time skip would be nice, like I mentioned in the previous scenario, where it was grief, not revenge, that drove her, and joining with the wider rebellion. But logically, for this one, with her revenge, she would not have waited 10 years. She wanted to kill everyone that had harmed her and her family. But Barriss, when she encountered her, made her hesitate on that revenge. So, it's just a thought. I know Barriss betrayed her and turned her back on her, you could say. But even if your connection to your past self is a person who betrayed you, it will still make you pause, especially if you have memories of that person, at least good memories, at least in my opinion. Barriss wasn't completely evil, we all know that, at least I hope we do. She was just misguided. I forget which book it was, but in that book I don't know if it was a catalyst, but she was betrayed herself, and she was a healer. She felt all the pain and death firsthand, because she was thrown into the forefront of the war. She was just, you could say, broken. And it caused her to obviously do that, to try to get Ahsoka to at least join her, or at least sympathize with her. In the Ahsoka book, it says that she didn't blame Barriss, and that she understood her. So I just wanted to touch on that here. But it made Ahsoka hesitate on getting revenge. So obviously the Empire didn't attack at first, didn't attack Mandalore, because their entire army almost disappeared. All they had was planetary defense forces. And they need to roll those into the Imperial army and transfer them. And they needed to create the Stormtrooper Corps in order to follow the more hardline orders. Attacking when they did was still a leap, but I need to progress the story. So I just blamed it on Palpatine giving the orders, like any dictator would. So now let's touch on Darth Vader, or Anakin. I feel like Ahsoka would hesitate to forgive him, or try to redeem him. She trusts him in everything like she did Barriss, but as Barriss did, Anakin betrayed her. He turned his back on her and joined the dark side. She doesn't know exactly what happened, but she does know that Darth Vader Anakin was now Darth Sidious's right-hand man. The man who wiped out the Jedi, who orchestrated the entire war. She would believe that he knew that too. I mean, he did, but he still was with him. I mean, given it was only 2 years, she didn't have time to process it or forgive anyone. She wanted Anakin to perhaps feel pain like she felt pain, but she probably was going to despise him for turning his back on her, basically. Turning his back on the Jedi. So for her revenge, I felt like letting her kill everyone she wanted to kill was a bit too much in the dark side. So I just mentioned she killed both soldiers and inquisitors, which is still bad, obviously. But she killed she killed the inquisitors because she wanted to kill them, but the soldiers because they got on her way. But she didn't kill the Grand Inquisitor, Darth Vader, or Darth Sidious, or anyone who hoped to come to power, besides Tarkin. I wanted to throw Tarkin in there, just because, well, he isn't a good person, and he isn't a good tactician, in my opinion. His personality is, as I mentioned in there, she saved his life at Citadel, and then, I think less than a year later, he tried to kill her with the trial. And if you watch the trial, it's just disturbing how he treats her during it. It's very disturbing. So, yeah, I wanted a personal revenge against him at least. But anyway, back to the other three. she didn't kill any of them. And I tried to mention that she didn't like this. She was angry that she couldn't do this. But she was just thinking that they were dead. And that they couldn't hurt anyone else. They couldn't continue whatever they were doing. So some people might be angry that I killed Palpatine like that. Quick death. Not much fanfare. Name a Force user, anyone, that could stand up to 1,000 Mandalorians. Fully armed in Beskar. I guess some of the clones had blastoid armor. But still, they had everything at their disposal and a literal capital ship above them. Palpatine would not have survived. It's that simple, honestly. I did talk about his fight, his attempt to fight back, but the only thing I could have done that would have prolonged his life was him fleeing, which honestly I don't think he would have done. He was arrogant and cocky. I was tempted to make Ahsoka... I was tempted for the price to be greater for killing him. But that just wouldn't have worked out, I don't think. Yeah, he could have killed 100 Mandalorians, but what's the difference? It's 1,000. He could have harmed Ahsoka, but again, what's the difference? As soon as he does that, he's dead anyway. So I just didn't think I should go on with that. Now, the tangent at the end. It's not really a tangent, but with Luke and Leia. So the moment I first watched Star Wars, I never understood why Yoda and Obi-Wan separated Luke and Leia. It never made sense to me. Yes, they were trying to hide the twins, but no one knew that they were born. Or very few people knew they were born. Very few people knew that they were twins. And they put Luke with his family on his own planet. None of it made sense. So that little tidbit at the end, had they placed Luke there to spy Anakin? I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. So we wanted to reunite them for this. Just happy ending. And let them stay in the Alrain royal family. Let Ahsoka be in their life. Train them, raise them. Kind of like what if she raised them? That's what if. I tried to take notes as I wrote the story, unlike the other one, so I hope this ramble was a bit more concise, covered a lot more things that people might have had questions on. If it didn't, let me know what you have questions on. I'll get back to you with those comments. There wasn't much in the last one. As I said, it didn't seem to be doing well, so just depends if I keep doing this. But besides that, I will end this one here and hope you all have a wonderful day and see you in the next series.